Incoming transmission from Vice Admiral Richard Sams, Regional Coordinator Region 20, SFI.
Command codes verified.
Very good evening. Warm welcome back. Apologies we've not done these for a while. That pesky problem, real life, getting in the way. But delighted to be with you this evening, and I hope everyone is fit and well. Right, start with the important stuff first. Today's giveaway. There you are. Chance, two prizes up for grabs tonight. There goes the link. From the top left, there's a little original series Light Up Shuttlecraft. Top middle is the Royal Mail Star Trek The Movies stamp sheet. Top right is an Anavos TOS Command insignia patch. Bottom left is a USS Matrix challenge coin, which they issued, I think it was back in 2020. Middle bottom is the Royal Mail Star Trek issued stamps series. That's originals of the stamps that they issued out for you to actually use on letters. And in the bottom right is a Fansets Discovery Christmas tree decoration / pin badge. Same as before, the links gone out into the chat. All you need to do is click on that, add your name, and I will draw it later on. In fact, I'm now going. There we go. I will draw that in 30 minutes, and I've just set the timer off. So 30 minutes time, we'll draw that while it's as live as we're going to get on here. That's good to hear, Dan. Well done, brilliant, good. Well, nice to hear that, mate. Brilliant. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Busy with work, but hey, that's life, isn't it? But yeah, all right, absolutely all right. Thank you very much, and others have asked as well. All very good, very lovely to see everyone here this evening. So, what's been going on? Been a busy time, isn't it? It's that time again. We're in that post-election hubbub. Really just straight after it this time, isn't it? Really only announced today. So congratulations to Admiral David Nottage, Commander Starfleet elect, and Vice Admiral Ryan Case, Vice Commander Starfleet elect. I am really looking forward to working with them. I know them both very well, having worked with them both on the Admiralty Board for a number of years, and actually it'll be the first time where I can say at the start of their administration, I not only know, but have met both the CS and the VCS. Had the pleasure of meeting both these gentlemen back in 2018 at the International Conference in Minneapolis. Be good. Also want to record, as it were, for posterity, my grateful thanks to the other candidates who ran, the other teams that ran. It was one of the nicest, that is the word, one of the nicest SFI elections we've had in a long time. No real bitterness, lots of openness. Never seen so much openness. One of those little perks really of the post-pandemic era, where things like this, live streams, are sort of second nature now, and so we had a lot of them. I mean, we hosted one, Region 20 hosted a Meet the Candidates session, and there were lots of other ones throughout the time. So it really was the most, I think, if anyone who voted this time made really the most informed choice you could have made in an SFI election, which is good. It's one of the things that certainly attracted me to SFI back in the day, was the fact that it wasn't Fred's club, or or John's club, and more importantly, it wasn't just their mates. Although with cronyism does rear its ugly head occasionally, but the fact is, every 3 years it changed. New broom. Some would say that's not a great thing because you can't get anything done in 3 years, but I would imagine, speaking to most retired commanders at Starfleet, they'll say 3 years is plenty. And again, just to reiterate, in case anyone's sure, it's not a job I'd like. I have full admiration for anyone who puts their neck in the noose, as it were. As Dan said, yeah, but it seems like we were voting for policies, not personalities, which can only be good for the organisation going forward. So things to change. What we also is already, David and Ryan have started putting out HR post job adverts for roles on their administration, albeit there seems to be a bit of an issue with the HR site at the moment, but they are going out there. We will put reminders up across Facebook and Discord about where to look if you're interested, and have a look. It's opportunities to serve come up all the time, but certainly at the start of a new administration, there's sometimes keen focus. The new team will bring in new ideas. They'll maybe use new posts or different posts that haven't been used with the current administration. So a good opportunity if you're looking at, wanting to think about getting involved somewhere, then that's it. As for where we go with elections next, well, on the 1st of December, the regional coordinator election, the nomination phase opens on the 1st of December. So my advice, talk to your CO. The RC elections are done differently, in so much as it's the chapters that vote for the nominees for regional coordinator. But that should mean, of course, that you, as a member of your chapter, should have a say in who your chapter's nominee is, if your chapter wants to nominate. So, as with the CS elections, absolutely nothing to be discussed until we get to the 1st of December, and then more information will come out then. But essentially, it's a vote from the chapter via your CO. So please talk to your CO to discuss how you as a chapter are going to digest information sent out from people standing for election or re-election. I will put it, because it'll get asked. I am going to stand for re-election. That's it. That's all I'm going to discuss about it now, because it will stop all those questions. So I will put a statement out on the 1st, as will I'm sure anyone else who wishes to stand as well. That's the great thing about the process. It's not all a given. It's I have to be re-elected or be subject to a vote of confidence. But that's it. That's how it goes on. So that's what we'll look at. That's what December holds for Region 20. An apology from me, a very heartfelt apology to all of our awards winners and our rewards reps from earlier in 2022. Seems an age ago now, doesn't it? The annual awards, absolute age ago. The fact that your certificates hadn't been posted out had completely and utterly slipped off of my radar. I do apologise for that. It was flagged up to me a couple of weeks ago. And I've started to get it all sorted out, and they will be in the post to you within the next week. Please note, they'll be sent to the address that is listed for you in the database. So if that's not correct, please let me know urgently. Get it changed in the database, but please let me know urgently so that I don't send anything to the wrong address. But yeah, my sincere apology. It had just completely slipped off my radar, but it will be rectified before Christmas. What else have we got? Right, we've had a few more people come in, so I will. Oh Lord, will it let me copy it? No, it won't let me copy it. There you go. But I actually want to put the. Get it from elsewhere. Want the link again, just for the live chats and the live chats for the giveaways. That's the link for the giveaways. So please, if you haven't, click on that. You've got 22 minutes now. Just ticks over 22 minutes to deal with that, and we'll draw that live. And just to remind you all again, because it gets my ugly mug off the screen for a minute, you will be able to pick one of those 6 prizes, but we're going to draw 2 this evening. And my aim is to have given away. I was always going to say get rid of, but that's not the case. My aim is to have given away all of those 6 by the end of the year. There were a group of about 8 or 9 when we started, but that's what we're with at the moment. So the aim is to get those all given away and given a new home by the end of the year. Last last piece of news from me, from what I could remember, unless anyone asks me anything, and it sparks recognition in my little grey cells, is please a virtual round of applause to all of your Region 20 command crew. So that's your COs and XO teams who have achieved 100% on-time reporting over the last 4 months. Might seem a bit, well, shouldn't they be doing it every time? But there are a number of factors that can impact the ability just for people to remember, and I'm really not that draconian about it. I completely understand that real life does get in the way, but for the last 4 months, we've had 100% on-time reporting, which is great. Makes my job much easier in terms of being able to get the regional report compiled and submitted on time. So my sincere thanks to all of our command crews who have achieved that, and long may it continue. So that's really all sort of things I've got that were absolutes. One thing I'm going to roll around. One thing I'll roll around, which is something I'm aiming to, which will be more information will come out in like a Christmassy or that. I'm thinking to do a live chat in that like weird week between Christmas and New Year, unless you're working all the way between Christmas and New Year, in which case all power to your elbow. If it's in the service industry, I wish you nothing but quiet shifts. And if it's in, I'm not going to be vicious enough to wish anyone working in retail a quiet shift, because it won't be, but wish it to be not such a fractious shift. But is that funny week where you sort of think you give up asking what day it is, and you work solely on the date for that whole week in between Christmas and New Year. So we'll try and get one of these plugged in there just to fill that gap and give people a chance. But there'll be more information come out around the Christmas end of the year time. My aim for next year, and you'll see this is why it's a work in progress, because the idea is there, but the title needs a bit more work. Is essentially it's my aim in 2023 is for me to do less and you to do more. So I'll explain. We've in the past had some great ideas that have come out that have been born out of ideas that members of the region have had. And so I or someone on the regional team have taken it on. And invariably it means that while it's great, something either it filters out or something else falls by the wayside because we're focusing on the new thing. So what I'm going to push for in 23 is, if you have an idea for a thing, and it could be like a challenge, like the challenges that Medical have done throughout this year. I did a walking challenge for New Year a couple of years ago to walk off all that excess turkey and Christmas pud. Something like that. It could be a photography competition, stuff that we could then use to promote the region and whatever. What I'm going to push out is that if you come up with the idea, pitch it to us. I'd imagine that 99.9 times out of 100 will say that sounds brilliant. go for it, and then you'll be supported in delivering it. You will deliver it, you will lead on it, you will push it out across the region with support from the regional staff. But you'll be the lead for it, not us. That's what I mean by me doing less, you doing more. So as a region, we'll do more, but lots of little projects all going on, possibly at the same time, all being done by different people, which spreads the workload, spreads the focus, and just gives more people a chance to get involved at stuff outside their chapter, which I'm all good for, because that's how you start getting some really good ideas about linking up and doing stuff that can be replicated across the region and across the fleet. Can go wider. So that's the nucleus of the idea. As I said, it does need some work on it, because I'm convinced that within that I do less, you do more, there is a much smarter, snappier title that we can use to sort of not underpin, as the banner headline for the whole thing. But it's escaping me at the moment. So maybe by putting something out to you this evening, someone might come say, well, what about such and such, which will be great if someone comes up with it. Or now, because I've actually verbalized it rather than just having an internal conversation about this, it might spark something in me. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. So that's it from me, really. Surprisingly, is the big focus over the last couple of months has been the election and whatever, and plans for next year. Things aren't, there's all sorts of starting to come together and whatever. Really, it's going to be interesting. We don't have a destination Star Trek in the UK next year, as of the moment. Probably not, based on what I've read over the last few months. So that's something we need to think about, to look at how we do more bits regional and whatever. Similar sort of discussions happening at fleet level about international conference for next year, whatever goes on. Again, our new administration, I imagine, will have some ideas about stuff like that. So we'll all see where we go. We will hopefully, by the start of the new year, be launching information about the revigorated regional summit, which won't be till 24, but information will come out about it, or at least the bidding process, end of this year, start of next year, so that can start processing through, and we'll see where we go. Excuse me, tickly throat this evening. We'll see where we go, but it has been really good with all of these on-time reports from all of the chapters. It's been fantastic to see reports of groups from chapters going to events. And what's been really good, and something I've always been a huge advocate of, and will keep pushing it, is that you don't need the whole crew to go. Sometimes it will be 3 or 4 of you who may not even be working at a convention, but might just all, you put a notice out saying, oh, is anyone going to such and such in 3 weeks, 4 weeks time? Oh, I was thinking of going, what day? And then you start building a little group, you get 3 or 4 of you go. And I'm always been a big advocate of that, little gatherings. And again, it doesn't have to be from the same chapter. If you happen to live near where there's a con that people from other chapters are going to, let's start getting loads of this information out on Facebook, on Discord, throughout all the other networks and stuff. All of our command teams, we have a Facebook group, the Regional Admiralty Board group. Get your CO to put thing in there. Oh, some of my crew are going to XCon, or whatever, and could you publicise it on your pages? Let's start pushing that sort of stuff out. People are going out and doing stuff, so let's use opportunities to get gatherings together. There is also, as Phillips mentioned, there was the Gathertown experience IC, which I've heard good things about. I couldn't go. I was away the weekend of the international conference. I didn't get a chance to have a look at any of that. But there's stuff like that we can explore doing. That's the almost 600 we in the region. Going back to my earlier point, about someone else leading on that. We will, at the start of the year next year, we will have the awards. I'm currently working through with our regional awards team some adjustments which I'll be discussing with the CEOs at the start of next month. But essentially, what even if other bits tweak, what will change is that we're going to be pushing it all slightly forward. So we'll be looking for nominations in February, then give the team most of March to do it, so that we announce, or we've got the winners in place by the start of April, even though we might not announce till middle April because of Easter. But we should then be able to keep to that new timetable, which will allow us to keep to that on a regular basis, even because the fleet one's been moving and getting earlier and earlier over the last couple of years, which has caused us some issues. So I think by dragging the whole thing forward, and also my thoughts are our awards process is always about the year that's gone. So we'll be looking for awards for people who've done stuff in 2022. So the earlier we do that in 23, the easier it is to remember what these people have done. So that's another bonus. So that'll be coming out right at the start of the year. And there'll be other bits. So I'm really, really keen that as a region and as members of as SFI, we can start getting out and doing more next year wherever possible. And of course, don't forget, it doesn't always have to be a Star Trek related thing. You can meet up at a completely unrelated convention. Go to a Star Wars convention in your Trek uniforms if you're brave enough, and like winding people up, because that will. Same as people turning up at a Trek convention in Star Wars outfits would do the same. But I'm always up for a giggle like that. Just make the opportunities of linking up is really what I'm saying. So what we got? 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left for the giveaways. But you know, I've not had a tickly cough or coughed all day, and it's always the same when I come these. I think it's nerves projecting itself. I really do. But anyway, so has anyone got any questions about anything that's gone on in SFI in the last few months? It does feel like ages. I look back, actually, the last time we were on live was back in August when we hosted the Meet the Candidates session. So it has been a while since we've been on. So if anyone's got any questions about what's gone on, I do apologise. I'm convinced it's nerves. Then please, yeah, very heavy. No, actually, these are quite nice, and I've said this before. I'm honestly surprised. These are actually SFI ones from the SFI quartermaster, and they're nice and thin. They don't actually weigh a lot, to be honest. But no, it's not the brass around the neck; it's the size of the neck is the problem. I thought I just mentioned it. Information on how to bid for it, albeit with the caveat that the Carolines still have first dibs if they want to, will be by the end of this year, with then an announcement in around about February, I would hope, depending on what people are able to do. So it gives people a good year and a bit. Because one of the things we'll be removing from the requirements from the summit is to hold it in the April-May window for the awards. Come to the conclusion that actually we can run our awards early, like I've just discussed. We'll have all the awards finished by April. But if we don't announce the winners until June, because that's when the regional summit is, then that's when we announce them. It doesn't really matter. We've just got, we've got it, so we've got to do it. Well, actually, no. If we can hold on to it, because we'll hold on to it for a couple of months, because that's when the summit is, then that's what we'll do. So that's something that's definitely will have changed. We'll be removing that restriction, which might mean that people can think, actually, do you know what? I know that May or June in my local area would be good because it's quite quiet, so we might be able to get a good deal with a hotel and go with that. So it's just getting all those adjustments to the bidding stuff, the bidding criteria sorted out before it goes out. But that will go out before Christmas, We'll go out before Christmas with a deadline for hopefully announcements in February, so that people have got time to save up and commit to it. But yeah, it's good. It will be good. It'll be cool. Blimey, it'll be quite a while since we've had one by the time we get to 2024. But there you go. All completely out of our hands. The gap in between, which just means that when we do get together, it'll be all the better. That's it. Anything else from anyone? Because we're counting down now, 6 minutes and 45 seconds on the countdown timer, and then I've got to try and work out how to share a screen on this again, because it's been a while since I've used StreamYard, and it goes a bit one of these things. If you use it, it's fine. If you don't, it see, that's a different button than it was before. Oh dear, that could be interesting. There we go. Any questions I've missed down? We'll get to see. It's come out. It has come out. I thought it'd gone wider than just the AB, but I will chase that up and post that tonight, Dan. I've definitely seen it, and I'm sure I've seen it outside of the Admiralty Board email list. I'm glad I looked back up. I had missed that one. I will find that one and post that later on. But it has come out, definitely. Oh, good. If Philip's in it, then definitely. I've got an idea. Well, if it had, my concern was that I'd only seen it on the AB chat. But if I haven't, I know where I can get hold of it quickly. It's in the AB chat, and no, not a problem. It's something. I'm sure it came out late, like last night for us. So it's something I just haven't had a chance yet to repost onto the R20 page, but that was it. That reminds me, actually, if you were involved in our election group on Facebook, to pull it away from the main page like we do, I did put a thing on there yesterday. I'm going to leave it in for a couple of weeks. If you've got any comments about the process and how it all moves, then please fill it in. And I've just seen in my own notes, I missed a whole paragraph about stuff talking about the elections, as well as the election, which is the main purpose. There was also the opportunity, because the Starfleet bylaws can only be changed or amended by a vote of the membership, and it needs a majority. It's a simple majority, yes or no, to approve it. So things like that are only normally ever done at the same time as the election to save the costs of sending out to lots of balloting stuff. So the other question that was on the ballot was about the Admiralty Board resolution to see the Chief of Membership Services upgraded to an executive committee role, which passed, which is great news, because it means that it now ends this constant, as we've seen over previous administrations. One administration will say, oh, this is ultra important membership services, so it sits under the Commander Starfleet. The next one will go, actually, because it's important, but it's day-to-day business, it better sits under the Vice Commander Starfleet, so we'll move it under there. And then in some administrations, it's moved during the administration. So you don't know who to go to if there are any issues. The Chief of Membership Services probably wakes up on an early basis and has to pause and work out who he works for. Now he will be the boss. It will be its own department, which I think is long overdue and something that will really benefit the membership overall. So the Chief of Membership Services will enter into the hierarchy, as it were, alongside the Chief of Ops, Chief of Computer Ops, Chief Financial Officer, Chief of Educational Services. And when you think you've forgotten one, but you can't for the life you remember what the other one is? Chief of Communications. There you go. See, I know I've forgotten one. So they'll sit within the EC. And I can only think it's going to be good. I can't see any downsides to it at all, really. It gives that important role an equal voice at the table, and the ability to focus and mould it into a proper role, where you can make the decisions. essentially, rather than having to feed up or down the line all the time. But yeah, so sorry, completely missed that. There are some comments already within the Admiralty Board we're discussing about what could be done better with the election. Certainly, what the main one that's come out is to reduce the timeline of it all, which after proper discussion, I think I'll be in favour of. Essentially, what we've done, we've kept the same timeline we used to have when it was postal ballots, which is why you had a large window, but it was to allow ballots to get backwards and forwards. That is if, and Dan will remember this, possibly John, but definitely Dan will remember this. That's if your ballot, there used to be literally a physical ballot that you would have to post back. That's if they arrived before the deadline for returning them. And we had at least one election where those of us in Region 20 didn't actually receive the ballot until after the November 15 return date. So it was a bit hard to be enthused and engaged with that particular election because you had no chance of doing anything with it, to be perfectly honest. There you are. Right, 1 minute left for the giveaway, so hopefully that's I'll just post the link in again for anyone who might have joined later on and hasn't yet. All you need to do is there we go, it's done it now. Click on that link, just be asked for your name, and then all you need to do is type your name in, press submit, and that's it. It'll pop up on my list and we'll see where we go. You have got 30 seconds left to do it. I have the list in front of me and then I can spin the wheel. Certainly better than the one before, according to the Inspector General. More people involved this time than in the previous one. And I don't know about the one before that, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's certainly... I'm not surprised. I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier. People felt engaged this time. And as Dan really eloquently put it, it felt like we were discussing and then ultimately voting. That's the timer. We were ultimately voting on policies, not on personalities, which is a massive change for the better. But there we go. Right. It's now what I just need to do quickly now is just go in and stop. That's it. Right, no more submissions will be accepted. And we do this. Oh, is it good? And only 8 people have joined in tonight, which is fine, but it means that you 8 have got a pretty good chance. You've got a one in not so many chance of winning, haven't you? See, this is why I'm not at all interested in becoming the chief financial officer. Right, so my other thing now is share screen. That screen. Hey, it sort of works. Yes, I know I'm sharing the screen. That's what we all said. So there you are. It starts at number 2 because it gets the information comes to me on a Google form, and row 1 is all the headers. So that's why it goes from 2 to 9. So we spin. Right, number 6 was the first winner. I can now remove 6 from the choices and spin again. Go. I shall stop sharing that, and then I can tell you, once I now get myself out of that, that means that our first winner, so person having first dibs on the prizes, is number 6 at Anthony Raythorne. So congratulations to you, Anthony. I shall drop you a DM in Facebook in a second to ask what you would like. And number 8, our second winner, is Michael Nolan. So congratulations to you as well, Michael. I'll do the same. I'll drop you a quick message just to find out what you want once Anthony has staked his claim for his prize. That's it. Well, do you know what? Short and sweet tonight, but I'm going to leave it there because I'm annoying myself with this coughing, and I do apologise for it. And I know exactly what will happen is I'll come off air and then I'll stop. There you go. So I will find and pop in to both the election group and 10 Forward the election votes breakdown, which makes for some interesting reading. And I'll also contact Anthony and Michael to discuss their prizes. Other than that, thank you all ever so much for joining me. I will endeavour next time to get someone to join me because I do find it much easier when there's at least one other real person here rather than me looking at my face on the screen, as it were. But there you go. Thank you all ever so much. Keep safe, keep well, and we'll speak soon. Good night. Bye-bye.
I'm going to sleep this off. Please let me know if there's some other way we can screw up tonight.